Hello and welcome to another episode of Suddenly Single. Today I have with me the Queen of the Wags turned telly presenter, still in the headlines for everything from her political views to her outfits, Lizzie Cundy. Just wanna get out of here. Before we jump into the next episode of Suddenly Single, just like to ask you to click the subscribe button and leave us your comments about what you think so you don't miss another episode. Now, back to the show.
Yes, it's a little bit. I thought it was longer. I don't know what happened. There was a little shrinkage going on.
A little bit of shrinkage.
But hopefully I'm a little bit more covered. I've pulled it down.
Now, Lizzie, you've just got back from a holiday, haven't you?
I have actually, yeah.
Yes, where have you been? I'm very jealous. Was it warm?
It was gorgeous. South of France, Cannes.
Cannes?
It was stunning, yeah. It was really lovely and a lot of fun.
Now, what clubs were you hanging out in?
I can't remember.
Can't you?
I don't actually remember.
Studio something or other. 56?
56, yeah. There were clubs, there were bars, there were restaurants. I can't remember any of the names.
Did you stay in a hotel?
Stayed in a lovely hotel. And, we had great fun. It was a girls' trip.
Yes, it was. And who was one of the girls that you went on the trip with?
Ruth Langsford.
It was, wasn't it? I'm glad Ruth's having a bloody good time.
Yeah, she is. She's having a really, really bloody good time. And, you're always going to have fun with me. There's no party without the Cunders, right?
Often found sitting in a corner with Bruno Tonioli when you arrive because she's already started.
That's it. Well, look, it was Ruth's birthday and another friend of ours' birthday, and it was a girls' trip, and it was fun. And I think sometimes you need to have that girly time away, forget
nobody
about
does
anything.
Holidays like a girlfriend. Did you shop?
No. We didn't do a lot of shopping, I'll be honest. There was a lot of drinking, a lot of eating, a lot of fun. But the weather was beautiful.
To sit outside by the pool.
Yeah, we sat on the beach. Ruth and I on her birthday. She won't mind me saying she was 66, looking fabulous, better than ever.
She does look.
She really does look great. And we sat on the beach drinking it. It was just so. We thought, look at us, in March. She was living her best life, and we were just having
living
great,
her best life, people.
Really having great fun. We were having a good time, and the weather was absolutely stunning. It was pissing down at home when I was like, here we are in the south of France, sunshine on the beach, having a cocktail. What's not to love?
Nothing's not to love. And I've got massive sympathy for Ruth because it happened to me a bit before her. And probably to you, actually, that being left, when you think you've got your world sorted and it all goes wrong, it's just not nice.
No.
So it's great to have your girlfriends.
You need your girlfriends. And
I
certainly, when I had my split, I relied on my friends. And you realise who is your friend, actually.
Do you know, that's the other thing, because I was surprised, and I'm going to name them, actually. Two people that I really thought would be friends with my ex-other half. One is... she was at the time at the Express. She's now the editor of Saga, Louise Robinson. And the other one is Karen McGiffin, both who I met by my ex-partner. I didn't expect to hear from them again because people tend to take sides, don't they?
They do take
sides.
They're
both two of my best friends.
McGiff.
The McGiff.
I love that woman, even though her husband dreams about me every night, apparently, and wants to be with me.
I have to say, actually, she won't mind me saying... She goes, bloody Mark, he's like Lizzie's picture again. First. He's always first to like the Cundy's picture.
I love Mark. I always feel there's three of them in that relationship and I'm one of them.
Yes.
There's three people in this relationship. But yeah, you do realise who your friends are. And look, divorce is horrible. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
No.
It is a really horrible time and you need people to get you through it. There's different friends for different things. And I definitely think I'm that sort of friend that is the sort of fun. Let's forget about the troubles and worries and just have a good time for a couple of hours.
You're brilliant at that. You really are brilliant at having fun. You're always... I don't think I've ever seen you without your makeup on, your hair stunning.
Well, there's a reason for that. No, my mum actually said to me, always have your lipstick on and try and look your best because you never know who you're going to meet. Even if it's going out for a pint of milk, I always... it's just a habit. I do.
Do you know, Anthea Turner once said to me, I think she'd split from Grant. I can't remember who it was. And I said, I called her and I said, are you okay? And she said, My mum's just told me off. She's told me to stop crying, put my face on, and she said, "Do you know what? I feel better.
Yeah,
Put your face on,
that's
you feel
it.
better."
Well, you know what, the actual, when Jason had just gone, the day after, I had this huge TV show that I had tried so hard to get with ITV hosting. It was called ITV at the Movies. And I'd cried all night. And I rang my mum and I said, "Mum, I can't do it. I've waited for this show." And I said, "I look a wreck. I feel a wreck. I haven't stopped crying." And my mum just said, "Right, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Go, have a shower, put your makeup on, and you're going. Stop feeling sorry for yourself." And I was like, wow, that's a bit harsh. My husband has just left. But you know what? It's the best bit of advice. And I got up, did what she said. No one noticed. And I did the job. And I was like, wow, thank you, Mum. Though I got in the car and started crying again as soon as I heard some music. But it really was the best advice ever.
It's fake it till you make it, isn't it?
It is fake it till you make it.
I mean, I found everything hard. I found going back to work hard. I found you just have to fake it till you make it.
Yeah, you do. And it's the things, doing the first things without them. I remember getting on the plane, having that first holiday without him, and not having that someone next to me because I hate flying. I always, doing the first of this and going to a wedding on my own and turning up for dinner on my own, at friends' dinners. It's the first. But once you get over that sort of hurdles, life does get better.
What about your first date? Was that hard?
The first, not that hard actually.
It wasn't that hard.
No,
oh my
it wasn't
God, I was
actually.
So
it wasn't. It's funny. This guy that kept texting me and I kept saying, "No, I'm married, la la," and I've really had cut him off. Just happened to text me out of the blue and said, "I've really got a feeling you're not right." And I said, "No, you're right. I'm not right." And he said, "Right, I'm going to come and see you." So I said, "Okay."
Oh, that's lovely.
And it was actually good.
Because you knew him, presumably.
Well, I knew him, not in that sense, but I knew him. We got on well. We were friends. And it kind of was, it was nice. And I actually thought, maybe life won't be so bad.
Yeah, mine wasn't quite that nice. Mine was a dating app first. And bless him, he was even more nervous than me. But I had to swallow a large glass of red, like a tumbler full of red, before I even left the house.
What were you going to say there?
No, tumbler full of red. Nothing else, Miss Cundy.
Yeah, but you see, you have the nerves, obviously, and I think it's really trying to get back into that dating.
Yes.
It's very difficult when you've been, Jason and I were together nearly 20 years.
Yes.
We met when we were like 18, 19 years old. Yeah. So to be with someone different and new, it is very tough. It's a big adjustment.
Yeah.
And you think
it's all you've ever known.
It's all I've ever known. I've grew up in the football world really, and that's the only world I knew of.
Yes.
So it was quite frightening.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
But look at you now. You're on telly every 15 minutes. You're looking fabulous. Holidaying in the south of France with Ruth Langsford. What more could you want? Now, another lady who's having a bad time at the moment, and you have been very good friends with her, is Sarah Ferguson.
Yeah.
But you did tell me recently you felt quite let down by her.
Well, yeah, because, look, it's maybe it's a good trait, maybe it's not a good trait. I believe what people tell me. Mm-hmm. And I was told that the only reason she got back in touch with Jeffrey Epstein was because she was having to, protect her children. She was very scared of what he may do. She was scared of bringing more sort of like bad news and gossip on the royal family. And she was being very, very protective. But obviously since, the Epstein files have been released, we've seen there's been a lot more contact. In fact, she even said, "Marry me," to him. And I kind of thought, well, that wasn't the story I was told. And I did feel quite, disappointed and let down by that. And I always, Sarah, if you know Sarah, she's great fun to be around. Yeah. I always think she's been a great mother. But for this wasn't what I was told. It wasn't, the truth. And we could see that from all the emails.
So, if reports are to be believed, and I do obviously believe most reports, Sarah, she's not at yours, is she?
Look, I've looked under the bed before I left. She's not there, right? She's not there. Yeah, I heard there's a new board game coming out at Christmas saying Finding Fergie. But
we
yeah,
don't
look,
know,
she's
do
gone
you?
underground. You can
Yeah.
understand why.
Yeah.
You know, and she's trying to put her life back together. I mean, look, they've lost their home.
Yeah.
You know, they've lost their work. They've lost their charities. They've lost their reputation. You know,
I mean, a crisis brings people together or pings them apart, doesn't it? If you've got rocky foundations in the first place. But it really does seem to have thrown them apart, the Yorks.
Yeah, it is. That the House of York has definitely crumbled.
Yes.
And it's been very tough. But the girls are, you know, are very close. They were, you know, they called them the tripod. And particularly Beatrice, I think, has found it very, very difficult. Because she was the one, don't forget, that put Andrew in to do this interview that turned out to be the most disastrous one I think we've ever known of. And she was really supportive. So I think it's rocked them all. And I just don't know how, you know, Fergie was queen of the comebacks and reinventing herself, how she's going to, you know, what she's going to do next.
Yeah.
And I really think she should do an interview and tell the truth. Just have some clarity and truth. And I think that's her way back. People need to hear the truth.
Yeah, I'm sure she will at some point, actually. She is quite media friendly, isn't she?
Yes, she is good. Look, she's done the Oprah show. She's done books.
Yeah.
She's
been on ITV.
She's come. Yeah, I mean, she's had a lot of scandals in the past.
Yeah.
But this is something else, and I think it's really important that the public hear it from her, not from other people. You know, she might be upset saying, look, this isn't true. I want to say my side.
Yeah.
So I think she should.
I mean, you brought up Beatrice. Now, you're a mum of 2 boys. How tough do you think they're finding it at the minute?
Extremely tough. Extremely tough. Look, they're 2 very different characters.
Yeah.
And I've known them both and met them both. And as I said, I think Eugenie's tougher. I think Beatrice is struggling with it. I really do. And she likes to see the good in everyone, Beatrice, and she's very supportive of her mum and dad. And she was the one, as I said, that made, you know, really suggested and pushed Andrew to do that interview. I think Beatrice is struggling with it. And it's very hard because it affects them all. You know, they can't go out and do their charity work. They're getting booed. People are talking about them. And that is a very hard life. And look, our sympathies are with all the victims here, but for Beatrice and Eugenie, it's a tough ride because they're feeling it. That's their mum and dad that have done this, not them.
Well, it's the sins of the fathers, isn't it?
Yeah, it is
Visited
exactly
on the children.
Exactly, and it's that knock-on effect is affecting them greatly.
Yeah, and their mums themselves. I mean, that's hard trying to protect your own children.
Exactly, and they're, you know, and Fergie's a grandmother to their kids and adores them. So it's very, very tough.
I'm sure it is. So, I mean, talking of women who've married into the royal family, you were quite shocked by the way Meghan Markle dropped you too, weren't you? Because you were very friendly with her. I mean, you've known them all.
I know them all. I know. My mum's friends with Camilla. There's all links with our family to the royals. My mum actually next door in Sandringham. So you need to get my mum on here. She knows all the gossip. Gloria.
Lizzie's mum, are you free?
Yeah, come on, mum. Meghan Markle, she ghosted me. I was amongst many, like Piers Morgan, as we know. But yes, she dropped me from a long height, shall we say.
But you've been more forgiving than Piers, haven't you? You said that you would, if she were to ring you and wish to reunite your friendship, you'd be open to that.
Well, yeah, I'd like to give her some advice, to be honest, because I think she's doing it all rather wrongly. But look, I understand it. I understand why she had to ghost certain people. She became a royal. It's very different to the celebrity circuit.
Yeah.
And she was now going to, you know, a princess. So it's going to be a very different life. You're going to have very different people around you. And I totally accept it. I know Piers wasn't too happy about it, but I like helping people. I'm naturally
You're
like
a very
it.
lovely person.
And I liked that I could help introduce her to people and, you know, help her to go to some events. And I knew she wanted to get up that ladder. Nothing wrong with that. She was very ambitious. And I actually got on with her really well. She was a real girl's girl. We had a real laugh, actually.
I have to say, I've watched the Netflix show that she had. I know she's been dropped by them. But I did actually enjoy it because I'm a shocking cook. Really shocking. When she was doing things like saying, I'm putting a flower in an ice cube, I was actually sitting there thinking, oh, that's quite good.
Well, you know what? I'm not the best cook either. I quite enjoyed it. But I do think they've just got to stop the whinging and moaning. And if she were to call me, I really feel I could help her, because I think she's doing it all wrong. And
What advice would you give her?
well, firstly, I would say stop the whinging, stop the moaning. I think be a bit more sincere and truthful. Be the real Meghan. The Meghan I met was great fun. And as I say, a real girl's girl, joking around, taking selfies. Just be more, authentic.
You do see that a bit on the show. I was watching it. She had 4 girlfriends in the garden and they were drinking quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, girl after my own heart. But I just think you've got to be real, and people can see through it if you're not real. I mean, I did the show, I don't know if you remember, Shirley Valentine. That was on ITV.
Yes. Now, remind people who don't remember, it was a dating show for older people.
It was. It was like the Love Island for the oldies, the golden oldies.
Yes, I don't know why that didn't come back. I loved that.
Well, do you know why it didn't come back? Because COVID then hit, and we were going to do another show, and then no one could fly, and we didn't know what was going to happen, which was a real shame. We had some real characters in there, and but someone said to me, Lizzie, you've got to be this way, that way in this show, which was about dating, trying to find love. And I thought, you know what? I have to be myself. I can't try and be someone I'm not. And I think it kind of worked, being real, because the audience can suss it out. Simon Cowell always said to me, if you're fake or phony, the audience will smell it. And you've got to be likeable. And I just thought, right, I'll just be myself. And that's what I'd say to Meghan. Be yourself. And don't try and be this certain way. Trying to, make these jams.
Pretend you never saw Prince Harry or knew who he was.
Look, she knew who Prince Harry was.
Of course she did.
She actually liked the other prince. She actually told me she liked him. Yeah.
Designs on
Yes.
walls.
She
No,
liked
he's already
Wills.
married.
She liked Wills.
Leave the king alone.
And she had pictures of them on a wall. Look,
King
she
waiting,
knew
I
them.
should say.
Let's just be truthful, because people can see through it. And I think she'd win a lot more favour. And, she's not that popular. Even in America, people are saying.
I'll tell you what, though. For all of her faults, of which, we've all got faults, we're all human, I would buy her star book. I mean, that girl can dress.
Oh, she can. She can. And I couldn't believe it. I was in LA and I was invited by the sponsors to this amazing charity event. And someone said, you won't believe this. There's someone coming through. I think it's Donald Trump. There's all this security. I was like, who is it? I look up. Who's it? Meghan Markle. And we're in virtually the same dress. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, my word. I don't think she's too pleased to see me. But I just couldn't believe she was there.
So, talking about things that aren't quite so happy, you lost your brother Pete unexpectedly on New Year's Eve, didn't you?
Yeah,
now, that
I
was
did.
a terrible shock, right?
It was such a shock. I can't... just even thinking about it, I feel emotional, because it's only been a few months, really. And grief is such an awful thing, because it can hit you like a ton of bricks. And 1 minute you're okay, and then it comes over you. And I was so shocked. And I was with Claire Sweeney, I was in Barbados.
Yes.
And I saw these missed calls from my brother's landline. I said, that's weird. Maybe he's wanting to say Happy New Year. And then I couldn't get a signal, and I was like, right, let me call back. And then my sister rang, and she said, Lizzie, I could just tell by her first, I said, Sarah, what is it? I said, I've had all these missed calls. My mother's 90 years old. So I thought instantly, it's my mother. I said, Sarah, what's happened? And she said, do you not know? And I said, Sarah, what? And she said, Peter's dead. And I was like, Peter? I was expecting something about my mother. I just fell to my knees. And I had my friends, Paul Cavalier, who's a great old friend of mine, and Bruno's, Claire Sweeney. I fell to my knees. I couldn't believe it's my brother. And so unexpected, so sudden. And I remember my friend Paul just lifting me up, and I just couldn't, I can't believe the shock. And it was just so awful. And I was so thankful, though I had friends around me.
You saw him on Christmas Day, though, didn't
So I
you?
saw him Christmas Day, I saw him Boxing Day.
Okay.
And he had a bit of a cough coming, a cold thing. And I remember saying, Peter, get that checked out.
Okay.
And as I left, he said, love you. I was off to Barbados, flying off that night, so I needed to get off. But, you don't think, and sadly, it had got worse, and the pressure like pneumonia. I remember listening actually to Wayne Lineker talking about him having this pneumonia and not being able to get out of the bed, and same happened to Peter. And sadly, my mum found him. My mum was calling, not knowing why he hadn't picked up. They lived round the corner from each other.
Okay.
And she went round to the house, got herself in at the age of 90 and found him dead from a heart attack.
Finding your
But
son.
the pneumonia hadn't helped, obviously. So, yeah, real shock. And my heart for my mum, because I don't think any mother should find their child dead, and it's the wrong way round. And we're still living with it, and just, I try not to cry, but
Okay.
it is very tough.
Yeah. How is your mum?
She's unbelievable. I wish, I mean, people say I'm like my mum. I hope I am. She's so strong. She's unbelievably strong. And she always says, right, I'm getting upset here, don't cry.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
Peter,
I'm gonna
Peter
not
wouldn't
make
want
you
us
cry.
on.
I'm not
Peter
gonna
wouldn't
make you
want
cry.
us upset.
But-
He'd always be laughing and want us happy, and that's how I've got to be.
Yes. So, but losing your brother, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
But you lost your best friend Wanda when she was 26
Yeah.
from cystic fibrosis. Your dad
Yeah.
Derek.
Yeah,
Jason suffered from cancer, which is always a worry.
yeah.
right?
I had all that in 1 year, and got married, and having my best friend Wanda was like a sister to me.
Yeah.
Grew up with, went drama school with, lived together. Amazing girl. And cystic fibrosis. Don't know if anyone knows about this disease.
I know about cystic fibrosis.
And
It's
she's
just
the worst
terrible.
cough ever.
Yeah.
We'd be out, and these guys were like, "Oh my God, you've got to give up smoking." She'd be like, "Yeah, I know. I'm on 40 a day."
Smoking?
No, she'd joke.
Oh.
Because this cough. And people would joke, and she'd always have a joke and laugh about her illness. And I think I learnt from Wanda how to deal with sad things and getting over. It really helped me get over my dad. And I really feel Wanda's with me all the time. Gets me through with a smile and laughter, because without a sense of humour, I couldn't get through it.
But that sort of when you realise, I mean, we know we're mortal, but when you're pulled back into that thing of your own mortality, has it made you live your best life, do you think? Do you think that's a lot to do with why you always seize the day? Because you do.
I do seize the day. I don't miss a beat.
You don't?
And I go for it. I think, what have I got to be scared of? Look what Wanda had to face, cystic fibrosis.
Yeah.
She couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
So my dad died early in his 60s as well. Jason got cancer within a year of getting married. He said, "You've married me in sickness and sickness." And he literally, at the age of 27, having testicular cancer. And then it came back again. And I think you've got to have a sense of humour and get through these things. Without that, you won't get through it.
Laughter's massive, isn't it?
Laughter's
really?
massive. I mean, I remember being in hospital and the nurse came in, just removed Jason's testicle. Okay, he's in terrible pain. She walked in and she went, "Oh, can I have an autograph, please?" And he said, "Oh my God, you've just taken my ball. Now you want an autograph." You've got to laugh. And I said, "Look, I'll cook tonight. I'll make you spag ball." We have to laugh. And without laughter, I wouldn't have been able to get out of the bed, really. And I know people see me, and probably think I'm a bit of a, fly by night or just always laughing. But laughter has truly got me through some of the darkest days.
How much is football still a part of your life? Do you watch women's football? Are the boys into football? Because you've got 2 boys.
I've got 2 boys.
Yes.
Believe me, if Chelsea lose, you know about it.
Oh, okay. Oh, God.
Chelsea is our life.
And on a happier note, Josh got married last
My
summer,
son
didn't
got
he?
married.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Josh got married to the most amazing girl, Martina. I'm very lucky. And they got married in Venice, and we all were there. All the my ex-in-laws were there. We all get on now.
I can't imagine you as a grandma, Lizzie Cundy.
I want to be a grandma. I cannot wait.
You would adore a grandchild. But now, last time you came in, there was an on-off man, and it was a long-distance romance. Is that still going?
Yeah. Well, kind of, darling. Kind of. Yes.
But is that not the one you're thinking?
Well, it works because he lives across the ocean.
I quite like a long distance. It's always exciting.
Well, it is exciting, and I don't have to watch his dirty knickers and socks, and I can watch what I want on the TV. But it does kind of work, and it's exciting, and yeah. But I miss not being married. I actually love being married.
Is it that something to do nothing with thing? Someone to do nothing with?
Yeah, to sit on the sofa, watch a Netflix, talk about the price of tomatoes, anything.
Yeah.
I kind of miss having that. I love being married. And I know I was actually, though I put on a brave front, very sad. I think I had a bit of a breakdown when my marriage ended.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't think
Did you have therapy?
No, I didn't. And I think I probably should have. And Ruth, who I'm very close, I call Ruth one of my best friends, had therapy, and she said it was one of the best things. She's spoken about this. And I didn't. I thought, no, I don't need it. I'm fine.
See, I'm like you, but I've had a lot of people tell me I probably should have.
And I think I probably should have. And I don't think I always behaved in the right way. And I went on that, wheel of, I'm not going to talk about it, keep going.
Yeah, I'm going to go out, I'm going to
go out. And I was a bit like Vanessa Feltz.
Yes.
She's never stayed in.
Night 1020.
Yeah, I was like that. I was out constantly, so I wouldn't think.
Yeah.
And people say, you're always out. I remember Denise Welsh said, I'd just love to see you on the sofa in a onesie. And I think, actually, there's a point. I'm never in. And I've started to learn to enjoy my own company.
Good.
Which I never did. But I like being with someone, and I don't actually like being on my own.
Do you know the only thing that I don't like about being single? And it is only one thing. Yeah. I don't particularly like sleeping on my own.
Oh, really?
No, because I wake up a lot in the night, and I like to know that there's somebody actually physically there.
Oh,
yeah. And when my daughter moved out, I couldn't bear it for about 3 years. I was always out, out.
Yeah,
especially didn't like the silence. There's a different silence.
Yeah. I've got you there, and especially as like with your leaving the home, my boys leaving that nest, because we were 3 together, very very close. I'd call them my best friends.
Yes.
They tell me off rather than the other way round, I have to say. But not having anyone in the house, and I like coming home to someone and saying, "Oh, this happened today," or I do miss that. Though I've got great girlfriends, but I keep my circle small, and I've learned in this life, I can't trust everyone. I can't believe everything everyone says.
No.
And I've never really had a man that's ever been faithful to me.
And it's I might have one at the moment. But here is something that will make you laugh.
On. Yes. Good.
Do you remember glow stars? Did you?
Glow
are you
stars?
too?
No,
yeah.
I don't.
Did you not?
No. What is glow
goodness,
stars?
Glow stars you used to stick on your ceiling. I think you've got them.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've now got them on my ceiling again. I've ordered them. They're still available. And when I wake up at night now, I'm looking at the glow stars. And it's really comforting.
You're thinking you're in Barbados. Looking at the stars.
I wish I was in Barbados. No. The last holiday I went in, this will make you laugh, I went to Knutsford with my daughter. We went to play the Real Housewives of Cheshire for the weekend.
Oh, darling. You need to come on holiday with me. I'm sorry, I'm not going there.
It wasn't south of France with you and Ruth. But it was really enjoyable. We had a great time.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have a good time anyway.
You can have anywhere. Look, I love my girlfriends, and I love that girly trip we've just had.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of those friends that drops you as soon as a guy comes around. I've had many of those friends.
No, that's not okay.
And
that's really not.
Really not cool.
No, it's not cool, girls.
It's not cool.
No.
And I love my girlfriends.
Yeah.
I really do. And I think it's important to give a lot of time to friends, which I do.
The other thing is not cool. Invite your girlfriends round if they're on your own. Don't be one of these women that has dinner party and drops the girl that's on her own.
no.
I can't bear that.
I can't. And look,
I've been dropped quite a lot.
I have been, and I don't like it.
No, it's not
And I've
okay.
actually knocked on the door saying, "Where's my invite?" No, but I literally have made sure if friends are suddenly single, I will make sure they're invited and included.
Yeah.
So important.
Yes, actually.
I
saw
am
you
a
doing
real
that
girl's
with
girl.
Ruth
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot. You are a girl's girl.
And I think people take, because of the way possibly I dress, I don't help myself, think I'm different to what I really am.
You don't look like a girl's girl, but
I
you're
don't
an
look like a
ultimate girl's girl.
I am
You really
a
are.
real true girl's girl.
You are.
And I really value my friends.
So you managed to sideslip the question about what is going on in your current relationship, Lizzie Cundy, your current men that you are seeing. So can we get back to that? Is there
Well,
anyone?
Yeah, there is a little kind of someone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been
You never
on
get
and off
there.
for years, a few years. But I really do care. I'm very fond of them. And look, as I say, I would, as you know, look, I'm in my 50s. Soon, you know,
But we can all live to our 90s now.
we can live to our 90s. My mum's 91. She's every night she's got a different suitor. I ring her. She's like, I can't talk. Stuart's around at the minute. Bong. So I'm hoping to be like mother, but I would like to have something more sort of permanent.
Dating
As I say,
advice from Lizzie's mum.
look, I love looking after someone. I actually like looking after someone. I like sex. When
Oh,
I
well,
say
yes.
that, and it keeps me in a good
yes.
mood. It keeps me happy.
Keeps everyone in a good mood.
You know, and I you know, and I think it's nice to have someone with me on my arm.
Yes. Finally, how is Bruno Tonioli? Because I know he's your bestie and I know he's back in the country.
How do you know that?
Because I heard you talk to him earlier.
Oh, this one's got ears. Can't do anything. Yes, Bruno's back. Bruno is back, which is great. In fact, seeing him tomorrow for dinner. So it's lovely. Yeah, Bruno's one of my best friends. I don't have that many showbiz friends, but I kind of do, actually, when I think about it. But he's certainly one of them. And we get on very well. We always laugh. And, you know, he's the first to tell me if he doesn't like someone I'm seeing. Let me tell you, he's got a very good nose.
He's very territorial of you. He's like your gay husband, isn't he?
I suppose he is. Do you know what? He's been ever so good to me, and he's very good with my boys. He's like their gay father.
Okay.
And he gives them clothes. He'll give them shirts from Strictly Come Dancing that he doesn't wear anymore. No, and me, actually. I wore one of his outfits the other night.
Well, you wear his trousers.
I do. They do. They fit me.
Slinky little hips.
But
that
no,
got.
he's a very dear friend.
Yeah.
He gives very good advice. And I've got to say, someone that's been in this business for a long, long time, I do go to him for advice and I do take on board his advice. I do actually listen.
Now, Lizzie Cundy, before you leave me, you're going to play my game, the honesty box of truth. Right, so this one is, what is the most important quality in a partner?
Kindness. Oh. Do you know what?
Oh, kindness.
I haven't had many kind ones. So I'm going to say, I would have said something else if you'd asked me a few years ago.
We won't dig any further, Miss Cundy.
Kindness.
We will go with kindness.
Kindness.
I would say laughter.
Laughter is so important.
Honestly,
You can laugh me into bed.
Well, I was with someone for 17 years.
Not.
He laughed me into bed because I wouldn't put him at the top of the most handsome men list. And he made me laugh every day for 17 years. And that was why we stayed together.
You see,
hilariously funny.
I would say kindness stroke sense of humour, because if you make me laugh, it doesn't matter what you have, what you look like, if you make me laugh, I'm putty in your hands.
Yes.
But sadly, my previous kind of boyfriend, he wasn't really, because he was seeing his old girlfriend, her daughter and others, but he made me laugh and he was so funny and it kind of blurred my way of thinking. So, but laughter, yes.
Laughter.
Oh gosh, here we go. What has she written on here?
If you can read it.
Hold on. Would you have...
It says, would you have surgery abroad?
Would I have surgery abroad?
I mean, it's an S word, right?
Surgery? Me? How dare you ask that question? The answer is yes.
You look like someone who's had none, Lizzie Cundy.
Yes, I've
Rather
had none.
like
But these are
myself.
natural, yes.
Yes.
I buy one, get one free. I would. I've done actually a campaign about this, of doing your homework with surgery. It's so important. I went to someone, I didn't do my homework. I felt very low at the time after my divorce. My friend said, oh, let's go to this person. And they put filler in my face, which made my eyebrows have different postcodes. It really was wrong. And since then, I do my homework. South Korea is the new place to go. They're far ahead in. You're going there soon.
Well, I was telling you earlier, I'm going to Japan, but we're going to South Korea as a stop-off.
Stop off and have a little tweak if you fancy, because they are the best in the business. Their skin cream's incredible. Their streets ahead.
So this is our last question. What's the one romantic moment you will never forget? Clean, please.
Gosh, it's got to be clean, right? One romantic moment. I tell you what, a guy I'm seeing who lives away, obviously I've talked about him, and I was really upset, and I was upset about something, and he left, and I thought, that was a horrible, it wasn't the right goodbye, and I was thinking, I felt so anxious, and then I got home, I opened my bag, and he put a love letter in there for me to read for when I got in the door, and I just think we forget about love letters. And I just thought what he wrote in that letter, I'll keep forever, because it was like, it dissolved all my insecurities and all and he just left this letter. And I think we forget, because everyone's so quick and busy in life and do emails, but to have a love letter, I was like, that was so romantic.
That
was
romantic.
So very sweet. But also, even when my husband proposed to me, things like that, you don't forget.
Yeah. Moments that you don't forget.
Moments you don't forget. But I think we forget about writing a letter. You've got that forever. And we all, I hate emails. We forget about writing a note. It means much more.
To say thank you and everything, you're right. I think actually you've just reminded me, my husband, my daughter's dad, he was so young when he asked me to marry him.
Yeah.
He was 19. He was 6 years younger than me.
Wow.
And I was like, really?
You had a toy boy.
I did. Oh, I came back from America and we moved in together. I mean, I was shocking.
Wow.
Decided. We'd had my daughter by the time he was 22. And but because he was so young and he'd gone to Ratner's, and honestly, you would have needed a microscope to see the diamond. But the point was, he went by himself and he bought it. And that is still my favourite ring.
You see, that's it. It's the time and trouble. But, it's something little, like a note. People say, it's because he lavished you with Chanel or Gucci.
It wasn't.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just those little, that don't cost a thing, like writing a love letter to you.
Yeah.
And taking the time to put those words down means more than anything money can buy.
Exactly. So, Lizzie Cundy, thank you for coming in to Suddenly Single. You're always a pleasure.